Actually, I think I'm going to have us sleep early. Again, in hopes that I can reset our sleep schedule such that we're not waking up at night. Because unfortunately, when you use weapons like the crowbar and the axe, like, you get sleepy as you use them. Like, it's just tiring for your character to use them. Yeah, I've never had proper confirmation on like how influential the loot tables are with the not like what day of the year it is or anything. Alright, I've got another zombie migration. It looks like they're migrating in the trees. I'd prefer them not to. If you could just knock on it. Where'd you come from? I mean, I realize I brought you out yelling, but where were you hiding? Inside, like, the food market? That's a little scary. Preemptive beta blockers, as you do. But yeah, Darth Strider had said that the katanas don't show up until after you've survived 60 days. I can't, like, and that's the thing, like, I don't keep track of what day I find certain weapons or anything to support or refute that claim. Like, I don't know. Like, I do wish, I'm sure it's documented maybe on the wiki or something, that, like, if there's stuff that changes the loot tables, like I know there's loot tables for like if you're in suburbs or if you're in urban or if you're in the woods, have different loot tables. Or I think it's like rural or whatever. I do wonder like how much impact time has on it. Because I've not personally read anything that's hard supported that, but I've also not looked, so I could be blissfully ignorant. Well, the wiki's information is outdated and you can demonstrate otherwise. Update it, please. That's how it, helps everyone. Yeah, I've gotten decent enough at it. One of the things that happened is with doing the GTRP, like there was wiki pages for the characters on the server. Some of them were maintained by the fans. Other ones were maintained by the people who are RPing themselves. Others would be like little bits and pieces would be added by other people who had RP'd with that character. And they were all a mixed bag so far as how well maintained they were, but it was a really nice thing to be able to turn to when you're going, okay, like, there's so much stuff that happens to your character. You had, like, I almost kept it as just notes that way, be like, okay, what did happen to my character, so that, like, when I go to reference it later, I get it right. The Hateful Donut says, does that mean after 9-9 katanas start dropping? I don't know. I'd have to sit down and do the math, assuming the information is correct. And again, I have no reason to question Darth Strider, I just don't know. I haven't tested or verified any of it. Goodbye, Crowbar. You've served me well. Yeah, it is fun when you get Katana. It's just so difficult to not Superman complex with it. As evidenced by the end of our cryogenic winter run. Where I was calling myself out constantly for Superman complexing with it. Yet we kept going. Did I mention the hunting knife is awesome? So you can level maintenance by beating doors with low-skilled weapons. Works really nice in bathroom stalls. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. If you go to actually, like, Cheese XP... Hey, Pankraru, thank you so much for the raid. Give me just a moment, I'm going to get you a shout-out. Make sure I'm not aggroed. I'm going to pause, because that's not a way to die. So, Pankraru playing more Phoenix Point. So how was your stream? And thank you for sharing your community with me again. I do enjoy the Squid Gang raid and comment. Gotcha. Moving on to your main missions and buffing up your B team. Excellent. Always good to have multiple teams. Great for when your A team has people who can't make it, that kind of thing. Some of you could notice the big bright yellow hat, please. Thank you, thank you. Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know the game well enough. What were you saying about cheese next beat? Oh yeah, there's lots of ways you can cheese different types of stats in the game. Like, for example, when you're on, like, ridiculously high population, you can just absolutely cheese training up light-footed and stealth by just finding someplace like the school that has absurdly high zombie pops that can't reach you because of, like, tall fences and all that. Getting kind of, like, to the edge of where they'd be able to aggro you, and just walking back and forth, knowing you'll never get aggressed by them because you're stealthing. This is a 16x pop, no respawns, multiple helicopters run. We started it last week, but we're just continuing it. Yep, max pop. I'm probably going to be playing multiplayer with friends here not too long. They said to be ready a little bit early today, and just kind of waiting for them to pop in, then we'll continue our multiplayer. And then once they wrap up multiplayer, we'll probably hop back over to this. Sadly, my fantastic crowbar has broken, so we're back down to anything I can poke zombies with, and that's just the way it is. Yeah, there's a highlight video from what led to that death, because we went absolutely ballistic with that katana and were just massacring zombies before that. And I kept going, I am being reckless, this is Superman complex, we're gonna die. And eventually did happen, where I went in for like one more greedy swing than I should have, got flanked, and caught by a zombie. But there was a part where he's just standing at a pile of corpses with zombies closing in from all sides and just turning and knocking, like one-shotting one zombie after another. And it was just like a really good feel-good moment. Oh, I went a whole lot too wild. It wasn't a little too wild. I was just like, katana, yay, I can actually kill things very effectively. Let's go. And we're filling ourselves with sadness with stale bologna. Yup. Yeah, no, that ending, like I've mentioned quite a few times, like there's been a number of character deaths. Like the last time I did one of these runs, the way our character died did not feel good. Like it was my fault. But it was like that death was very, very disappointing because like, oh, I just wasn't careful for one moment, got myself caught. Versus that one, I'm like, you know, it sucks that we died, but I don't regret it because we just got to annihilate zombies for a while. I want to avoid picking up the butter knives. I'm going to, but I'm hoping we're done with that. Because the more maintenance we get and the more combat skills we get, the less I'm going to have to lean on real crap weapons. But it would be really nice if we can push into town, even if we get pushed back out by the helicopter. Just because what that would mean is I can get into some of the shelves and maybe get, like, a claw hammer or ball peen hammer or something that's got some pretty good durability to carry us. That said, we're coming up pretty close to our first 1,000 zombies. 4/5 the way there. Let's finish off that bologna. Don't have to go back and see our food situation. There's a good chance, based on the way we're getting through these zombies, that I might end up being forced to back off to go check a farmhouse or two for more food. I'm really hoping that isn't the case. Alright. Yeah, I generally don't fast forward while looting. The comment was, you know, I hate it when sometimes I try to click and drag stuff to my bag, hit F6, and it just does, you know, it doesn't transfer, so I'm fast forwarding for no reason. I generally avoid fast forwarding even when I feel fairly safe with loot. I don't know, it's just gotten me in trouble a number of times. Like, you have to fast forward sometimes for just practicality's sake. But it's always dangerous. Alright, and Rubaface says, I was watching The Walking Dead yesterday and I forgot that they didn't hesitate with racial slurs back in Season 1, Episode 1. I mean, so, when it comes to, like, racial slurs and popular media and all that, I think it's okay when it's like, you have a bad character who's a bad person saying bad things. Because that's like, yeah, this person's awful. But it's if, you know, a neutral slash good character or whatever, or if it's just over the top, then it's like, alright. But, you know, it's like, alright, they're murdering people. Let's just, you know, be really angry about this person. Like, let's all get together disliking this person. Because, you know, not only are they villain, but maybe they're the racist villain on top of that. Not that it's necessary. I don't want it to be like everything does that because just, oh, if I drop, you know, I drop a slur, therefore a bad guy. Like, don't get over the top like that. I don't know. It depends. Like, have the person drop something and have someone immediately check them kind of thing. Right, that's what I was thinking. Esha says, condition. The bad person needs to get their comeuppance, or assholes would root for them to get away with it. Yeah, and that's what I was just saying, is like, have the person, you know, say the whatever awful thing, and then just immediately have them get checked in some way or another. Like, have, you know, have whomever the hero is or whatever immediately just, like, break their nose or something in a fist fight or whatever. You know, like, call them a racist, whatever, and just smash them in the face or whatever. Or if it's not that kind of movie, like it's a lawyer movie, like they drop some racial slur and then just immediately the tables turn on them kind of thing. Yep. Yep, Henry, that sounds perfect. So yeah, according to what happened with the Walking Dead thing, it's like the person gets punched almost immediately, handcuffed to a roof, and left for dead. I'm like, yeah, that would be an immediate upcomence. I can't words. That's appropriate. Like, allow that content to be there, but have it very immediately punished. I mean, that's probably fair. I can't speak because I don't know, so far as the story itself, I can't speak for, you know, good, bad, or otherwise because I haven't watched it. Or, like, have like, the Handsome Jack mode where, you know, the villain's defeated, they're doing that, and they start going in their tirade. Have them drop the slur at that point, where it's like, they're already defeated, they're knocked down, they're not coming back, and now they just kind of go from being, you know, where they may have been a well-thought-out, you know, logical villain who worked through everything, and they're just going into hate at that point. They don't have a plan, they're defeated. Then they drop it, and, you know, whatever the consequence, you know, the other foot drops. So, like, if it's, you know, a legal justice kind of movie, they, you know, get drug off to prison. Or if it's, you know, like the superhero movie, the superhero, like, bashes them in or whatever, defeats them, whatever the appropriate thing is. Yep. That's exactly my thought, Dianchit. Of course, Automod jumped in. I'll have to see what that was in a moment. Bear with me a moment. It's dark, so I want to check this. I am going to allow it. No, I'm not, because I still don't know how the whitelist thing works, and I just don't want certain terms to be whitelisted. But yeah, now Fenrir was just saying, like, they didn't make it ambiguous that the dude was a jerk. Like, he was an awful person, all that. You know, them being in prison before is neither here nor there for me personally. But, basically that the character was a piece of garbage, just like an awful, awful person. So, you know, you don't have much sympathy because the person's so awful. Yeah, that's what I thought, Dion check. So it's like, okay, like in the context, what Fenrir is saying, I don't have a problem with. I just don't want to whitelist words that I don't want to actually whitelist. Because unfortunately people we use it in a context that isn't okay. Right. And I genuinely disagree, Rubafe. When you're talking about, like, within context, it's used where it's saying, hey, this is wrong, like that kind of thing, that's all fine. Like, I haven't seen much of a problem with that. It's nowadays, people seem to be very, very sensitive about when, like, employers or companies or whatever do stuff that's really crappy and just be like, yeah, it's fine, we're just gonna do it. Like that, I found the tolerance people have for is basically negligible. And I honestly don't see that as a bad thing personally. I personally feel like if you're at a company and your boss says something sexist, they should be called out on it immediately. And not that they necessarily get fired for it, but there should at least be like, hey, you're going to go to training to show you why that's wrong, and if this keeps up, then you probably will lose your job. You know, give them a chance to learn from their mistakes, and then if they don't, then show them the door. Because, like, that's where the really harmful stuff happens, because, you know, people do say stuff out of ignorance, and they should know better and all that. But, you know, you do have to try and work with people. Otherwise, they just push away because, you know, they didn't mean wrong, they're just ignorant. And try and fix it. Just give them the chance. If they follow it, great. If they don't, well, tough cookies. I want to sleep. I want to rest. Oh, wait, I don't need to rest. What am I doing? Actually, let's go back, go to sleep, because then we'll wake up during the day. All that. Yeah, working the family business is a different world, in both the good and the bad way. Like, I definitely worked at a family company way back when, you know, like first job before I could technically have a job. Family business allows you to work jobs when you're too young, kind of thing, to certain constraints. And honestly, it kind of sucks because it holds you captive in some ways. Like one of the things we had with our family business was, you know, there was an uncle who thought they were going to effectively take over when my grandfather retired. Everyone kind of agreed that they weren't the right choice, and it became very hostile. Because, you know, my father was someone who was married into the family, so to speak, not someone who was from my mom's side, so people took it very personally, unfortunately. I'm not sure the context with that one, Darkstrider. Are we talking about the family business thing, or about, like, the conversation before? Because the family business thing, I would agree, but